This is Henosis Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, I want to talk about bowel movement, and I want to talk about why it's essential to your health. If you've heard me before in previous videos, I'm always uttering the word bowel movement. You want your body to have a bowel movement every day. It's essential for your health. If you can have anywhere between 2 to 3 bowel movements, and when I talk about bowel movement, there's different variations of bowel movement. The bowel movement that I'm talking about here is a number 2. Defecation. That's what I'm talking about. Urination, you definitely want to be urinating, at least 7 or more times a day. I mean, the more that you urinate, and when I say the more that you urinate, I'm going to be very careful in how I explain that, because there are folks that have diabetes that just urinate a lot throughout the day, and then there's just folks that don't have it that urinate quite frequently, and it's because they keep themselves properly hydrated. So that's why I had to be very careful in how I preference that. But you definitely want to make sure you're urinating 7 or more times a day, because what's happening is, as you're urinating that frequently, you're ridding your body of toxins. It's basically like a daily detoxifier. Defecation, you want to defecate anywhere between 1 to 3 times a day. I think if you defecate more than 3 times a day, there could be, underlying issue as to why that's happening, or there could be a reason why that's happening. And I don't think that that's healthy, but anywhere between 1 to 3 times a day to me is healthy in terms of defecation. And let me explain to you why it's important to have a bowel movement every day, and what type of bowel movements are healthy as opposed to the ones that are unhealthy. When you generate a bowel movement on a daily basis, your body is ridding itself of toxins. And like I said, like when you eat, your body goes into the digestive state. As it's going to the digestive state, it's working the food down in the body, from head all the way down to toe. So it's going to go through your small and large intestines all the way down to your colon. And then your body will let you know, once it gets to that point, what it's already used for energy and what excess, because that's what the bowel movement is basically excess fluids or excess food that the body does not need, that it needs to create the bowel movement to get rid of. So in general terms, that's really what the bowel movement is. But you definitely want to make sure that you're having consistent bowel movements daily, because it's essential for your health. If you're going days and, if you're going like every other day and you're not generating a bowel movement, then that's not healthy. And you got to get checked out by your doctor to see what's going on, and to get your health checked out why you're not having consistent bowel movements. It's important to have consistent bowel movement. Now, what foods or what beverages generate good bowel movement, and what foods and what beverages clog up, your insides and doesn't allow for proper and consistent bowel movements? I'm going to get to that. The good foods that you want to have, the good beverages: water, alkaline water, lemon water. And remember when I told you what homemade alkaline water is? It's water itself that's been filtered, properly filtered. Lemon, you lemonize the water. You take the lemon juice and you squeeze it into the water, and then you throw the peel of the lemon into the water. Cucumber, mint leaves, and I'm going to add another one that I didn't mention in the previous video: ginger. Ginger is good because ginger helps to aid in digestion, and ginger is a good spice that helps in lowering your blood pressure, and it also helps because it's a diuretic. It basically helps you to be able to use the restroom on a consistent basis. So you definitely want to add that to the water. Plus, it helps to alkalize your body, keeps your body at a state of alkalinity. Remember what I said in a previous video: cancers and diseases, they can't thrive in an alkaline environment. So that's why it's important to ensure that your urine is not acidic, that your urine is alkaline. It's at an alkaline state. And there's ways to do that. There's pH test strips that you can purchase to test your urine out to see the numbers. Obviously, there's 1 to 6, and then there's 7 to 14. You definitely want, for your pH to be considered alkaline, it needs to be at basically 7, the pH. But the human body, the human's body's pH is basically 7.3, basically around 7.4. So that's why it's important that you want it to be slightly alkaline. If it could be pretty much 7.5 and higher, then that's perfect for you. But you definitely want to make sure that, you know, the beverages that you're intaking have 7.0 pH and higher. It's important. It's essential for your health because it keeps your body in an alkaline state. It keeps it at homeostasis so that your body doesn't get too acidic, because when the body's too acidic, this is where cancers and these diseases thrive. Cancers and diseases, they love acid. I'm going to say that again. Cancers and diseases, they love acid. So the more acidic the body is, the more it's prone to cancers and diseases. This is why you want your body to stay in an alkaline state at all times. One way to do that is to stay properly hydrated. See, when you stay properly hydrated and you're drinking the homemade alkaline water, or you're drinking commercial-based alkaline water like Alaskan Glacial, which is a 7.8 pH, Essentia, you know, Icelandic, you know, the list goes on and on. I mean, there's so many different variations of commercial alkaline water out there. When you're drinking alkaline water, it keeps your body alkaline. You know, this is important, and it keeps you generating a bowel movement because, you know, your body is made up of over 70%, you know, upwards into the 80, almost 80% of water. So your body is mostly made up of water. So you definitely want to make sure that you constantly feed it water, depending on your body size, depending on your body structure, and depending on your physical activity and your mental activity of the day. Because like I've always said before, there's no cookie cutter approach. I know they tell you 8 cups of water a day. That's not necessarily true. Everyone's water needs are different. You need to know your body. You need to know what your body responds to in terms of how you feel when you're hydrated. You know when you're hydrated because you're constantly having a bowel movement. And when you're peeing, your pee is a bright yellow or it's clear. That lets you know that you're hydrated. Now, if your pee gives a dark yellow color or kind of like a brownish color, which is not healthy, then that tells you that your body's acidic and is dehydrated. So just keep that in mind. That's one way to be able to tell if your body is alkaline in its pee, because when you're peeing, if it gives a light yellow slash light color, then that's a good sign that you're hydrated, and you want to stay properly hydrated. And remember, the brain needs proper hydration in order for you to have maximum cognitive functioning. So it's imperative that you stay hydrated so that all your organs, your heart, it's not overtaxing itself. It's not overworking, because when you're dehydrated, your organs, in your internal body has to pretty much work itself hard to try to maintain alkalinity. Like I've said before in previous videos, the body's very intelligent. The body understands, itself better than you, but you have to educate yourself to know how to properly fuel your body so that your body can be able to do what it's supposed to, and it can be beneficial to you. So you definitely want to do that. Foods that I would recommend that are alkaline. Kiwi is alkaline. It naturally alkalizes the body. Soursop, it naturally alkalizes the body. Berries, it has antioxidant properties. It naturally alkalizes the body. Watermelon, banana, apples, preferably green apples, ambrosia, those types of apples, they alkalize the body. Oranges, they alkalize the body. Although orange is acidic, inside, but once it converts into your body, it's alkaline. Lemon, limes, these are alkaline foods, that you want to, fruits that you want to implement into your body because it alkalizes the body. Although lemon, just like orange, it's the cousin of orange, distant cousin, and lime too, although they're acidic at nature, when they come into the body, they become alkaline. You know, they create an alkalizing effect into the body. You know, it's important that you incorporate these types of, foods into your body, because it keeps your body in an alkaline state. Green leafy vegetables, kale alkalizes the body. Asparagus, it alkalizes the body. Bok choy, it alkalizes the body. What else? Collard greens, it alkalizes the body. Cruciferous vegetables, things like cauliflower, things like broccoli, they alkalize the body, man. You want to keep your body in an alkaline state at all times. Grapes, it has resveratrol, which is good for your heart, man. It alkalizes your body. You definitely want to make sure that you eat these types of foods consistently. They alkalize the body. Cacao nibs, dark chocolate, it alkalizes the body. Nuts, it alkalizes the body. It has great anti-inflammatory responses and properties, great antioxidant activity, vitamin E. These things are essential, alkalizes the body. You definitely want to make sure that you uphold to this. It's crucial, it's imperative. Pomegranates, cherries, these things alkalize your body, man. It keeps your blood lipid healthy, your blood profile healthy. It lowers blood pressure. It keeps cholesterol low. Things that are essential and crucial and pivotal for your health. These types of foods create bowel movement. They help your body to flow. Oatmeal, excellent in that regard. These are the types of foods that I would recommend that you eat, consistently, or if possible on a daily basis, because they alkalize your body. Beans, red beans, kidney beans, black beans, lima beans, white beans, green beans, they alkalize the body. Snap peas, they alkalize the body. See, there's a lot of stuff out here that alkalizes the body. Ginger, turmeric alkalizes the body. These types of herbs and spices, they have an alkalizing effect. Cinnamon, it alkalizes the body. See, these are the things that you definitely want to take consistently on a daily basis, or as consistent as possible, as much as possible, to create good and proper bowel movement. What is good and proper bowel movement? From a defecation standpoint, you want your poop, and I know this is about to sound vulgar, but you want your poop to be long, and you want it to be, solid. That's a good sign. When your poop is mushy, or it's too broken up, that's not a good sign. And another way that you could tell if your poop is healthy, it floats. Oh yeah, there's a difference. If it floats, then that's a good and proper sign. But if your poop doesn't float and it goes all the way down to the bottom, that's not good. That means you're not ingesting the proper foods. You're ingesting high fat, high cholesterol, high oil based foods, that don't have nutritional value. Avocados, that's another good food that alkalizes the body. See, these are the things that you want to continue to eat that's beneficial. Salmon, for those who are not vegan, who eat meat, it alkalizes the body. So you got to think about these things. A lot of fish, because remember, fish, where are a lot of fish animals? They're in the water. They're constantly in the water. See, that's how you got to think. They're in the water. Water type of proteins have more of an alkali. Their pHs are higher than the ones that are on land. It alkalizes the body. So you got to think on that regard. It's important to keep your body alkalized, because as your body is alkalized, as you see, I keep using the word alkalized or alkalinity, because when your body is alkaline, you will continue to generate and promote good and proper bowel movement. So it's imperative, that you continue to generate proper and good bowel movement. It just shows a sign that you're doing the right things, you're on the right track, that you're healthy, and that your body's functioning. Another way to help generate proper bowel movement, staying active, staying physically fit, moving your body. Minimum, you want to work out 3 times a week, but I would recommend doing it minimum. My minimum for me is 4 times. I would recommend anywhere between 4 to 6 times a week. If you can't get 5 or 6, minimum, at least get 4 workouts in, and you could phase it out. There's 7 days in a week. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. That's your 4 days, man. Or you can do the next week and switch it off, alternate. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you got the 3, the minimum. You definitely want to make sure that when you do move your body, you're at least getting 60 minutes of good, moderate, intense activity. It's good for your body, whether that's running, whether that's walking, jogging, whatever it may be, resistance training, weightlifting, or calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, things of that nature. You definitely want to make sure that you keep yourself active, because it generates and it creates a bowel movement. It helps release toxins. Another thing that can help generate and create bowel movement. There's beverages out there that's good for that are excellent diuretics. I mentioned it with the alkaline water when I talked about lemon. Lemon and limes are diuretics. They help generate bowel movement. Black coffee generates a bowel movement. Even when it's with cream and sugar, which I don't recommend folks doing that, because they dilute the coffee itself and they take away all of the antioxidant properties that coffee has, and is beneficial for, because coffee is actually the number 1 antioxidant food on the planet, and teas being number 2. Definitely, like green tea. I would say green tea would be number 2. Matcha green tea. That's that Japanese green tea. That's number 2 on the list. But coffee has more antioxidant properties than any other antioxidant food on the planet. If you are a person that can drink coffee or has a taste for coffee is good because it generates bowel movements. Teas, black teas, green teas, oolong teas, herbal teas, white teas, oat flower teas, chamomile teas. The list goes on and on with the variations of teas. They all generate good and create good bowel movements. They're diuretics. You definitely want to employ these things into your diet. Pomegranate juice, it generates and creates good and proper bowel movement. So it's good in that regard. See, these are the types of things that you can, get yourself into. Alkaline water, like I said before, it generates good and proper bowel movement. You definitely want to continue to create a bowel movement, and you want to be consistent in creating that bowel movement, because the body's very smart. When it realizes that it's taking in something good, it rewards you by defecation or urination. I know that that's vulgar and it sounds weird, but it's a good thing when your body's constantly doing that, because it's letting you know that it's functioning properly. It's taking in what it needs to take in, and it's removing out what it doesn't need. That's a good sign. So you definitely want to see that consistent. If you see that you're backed up, you see that you're not consistently using the restroom, you got to check yourself. You got to see what's in your diet that may be causing that, because there's a lot of stuff that can bloat you up and clog you. Things like soy, things like junk food, fast foods, things like dairy, things like, highly processed, white refined sugars. These things can hold you up. White bread, these things can hold you up. Corn. Oh, I'm going to talk about corn in another video. This is just a hybrid thing that I don't know why people still eating this nonsense. It's not good for the body. As a matter of fact, corn can spike your insulin levels even higher than white bread. Another video, another time. But you have to understand, like, these types of foods they back you up, man. Like hemp seed, it backs you up. Like, you have to look at it. These things, they have detrimental effects to your health. And if your colon is backed up, and your small intestines is not functioning the way it's supposed to, then your body's indicating and telling you something's wrong, because your body's like an engine. It's supposed to constantly be churning. It's supposed to be moving, and it rewards you through bowel movement. I know that sounds weird, but bowel movement, especially the ones that I described, light yellow or clear pee, solid poop, that floats, that does not fall all the way down, and that has a good, distance to it, and that's bright, and that's a lighter color. You don't want it to be darker, because darker is not good. A lighter color poop that has the same consistency. These things are good. It's a good sign, and it's good, and it's letting you know that your health is in check and your health is proper. So you definitely want to generate bowel movements, and you definitely want to have consistent bowel movements. You know, it's important. It's important for your health. I can't stress that enough. It's important for your health. So, you know, just if you see that you're not consistent in your bowel movements and you see that you're backed up, you know, make some changes, make some lifestyle changes. Go from more of a sedentary lifestyle to a more active, fit, and healthy lifestyle, to what I call a well-balanced and nutrient-dense diet. You know, and there's this misnomer out here where people are saying, you know, your nutrition is 80% and your health and exercise is 20%. I'm here to cancel that misnomer. What I'm here to tell you is health with health, and I'm gonna use the Jack LaLanne quote. You know, exercise is king and nutrition is queen. You put them together and you have a kingdom. I'm going to use that Jack LaLanne quote because Jack LaLanne is one of my mentors. He's one of the folks that I look up to when it comes to health, because this guy right here ate anywhere between 6 to 7 vegetables a day, 5 to 6 fruits a day. You know, he ate lean cuts meats. You know, he followed proper food servings, you know, and I would tell people to research on him too to see what he was about. You know, he even went, you know, vegan for 6 years or vegetarian for 6 years, you know, and, you know, he was so religious with his health that at restaurants, he would tell them, you know, to remove the salt or to remove, you know, excess oils and things of that nature, you know, from the foods so that he could keep his health constantly in check. And this man was probably the best on the planet in counting his macros or making sure that his servings were always in the right proportion. He lived up until he was 96 years old. And even in his last day, his wife had attested to him working out, you know, that day and being healthy. I mean, he just fell sick that day, but he still was working. Could you imagine being 96 years old and having the strength of 50s and 60-year-olds? I mean, that's insane. And the feet, all you got to do is look at the man's feet. I mean, hats off to this guy, man. I have to pay homage to him because, you know, he is what you call the true staple of health, you know, and I just wanted to put that out there. You know, I got that saying from him, you know, exercise is king and nutrition is king. And together they create a kingdom. Together you put them together and they are a kingdom. And that's just the bottom line. I may have not said the quote phrase to phrase. I paraphrased it a little bit, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. When you put these two combinations together, along with you sleeping well as well too, then you will generate proper and consistent bowel movement, which is essential and beneficial to your health. This is He Knows His Sport, checking out.